While you were watching the video, you actually saw the IDEO team using the design thinking process. This is a brief overview of each step in the design thinking process. There are 6 steps. We begin with emphasize. Then we move to define, ideate, prototype, test, and iterate. So in this video, we see this company called IDEO. IDEO is a global design and innovation company that brings in people from all different majors and experiences to come together and make a variety of products. They make things like medical equipment, a computer mouse for Apple, Nike sunglasses, and even made the model for the whale in Free Willy. One of the leaders of a project explains that they are not experts in making one specific product. They are experts on the process of making such product. So this company does not focus on just perfecting how to make a chair, for example. They have mastered the process of thinking through how to make and design the perfect chair, and then apply this process to other products that they create. This process that they use is the design thinking process. So we see in the beginning of the video that the team is faced with a task, which was to discover a more efficient design for a shopping cart. This brings us to our first step of the design thinking process, or the emphasize step. In this step, you begin to look into the task that is in front of you, and you start to create an understanding of the needs and wants of the person who you are solving this problem for. So for instance, the team saw that the original design of the shopping cart can be a bit ineffective. So the team went out and started asking individuals who use these carts on a day-to-day basis what they think they could improve on for the shopping cart's new design. As you see in the video, they talked to numerous people and asked them what their opinions were. Many people said that the shopping carts were easily stolen and that they cause a number of safety concerns. After gathering all of these different suggestions, the team then came together and defined the goal of the task in hand. This brings us to our next step in the design thinking process.
In this stage, you want to be able to define the problem. To do this, they took the issue they gathered in the empathize stage and wrote one sentence which explains their objective. Some of the issues the IDEO video mentioned were theft and safety concerns. For example, a sentence that the IDEO employees might have come up with would have been, "We need to come up with a new idea for shopping carts that is safer, more efficient, and is less likely to get stolen." As teachers, you come up with learning objectives. These objectives articulate the knowledge and skills you'd like your students to acquire by the end of the class. These objectives give students a clear purpose to focus their learning efforts. In a similar way, during the define stage, you come up with an objective for your task. The next stage is ideate. The purpose of the ideate stage is to be able to build a blueprint. The IDEO video took the concerns and problems with the shopping carts, which the consumers brought to our attention. The team then communicated and encouraged wild ideas while staying focused, remembering that no idea is a bad idea. Often, one of the hardest things to do is to stop yourself from criticizing an idea. Keeping an open mind is key. In the video, you might have noticed the sketches taped to the walls. These were their blueprints. They don't need to be organized. There isn't a right or wrong way to come up with ideas. It can be a mess to start with, but eventually you want to start to narrow down your ideas. They should be something cool and buildable, yet realistic, weeding out some of the ideas that might not work. As a team, you want to decide one blueprint you'd like to create.
The next step in the design thinking process is prototype. The purpose of prototype stage is to build a tangible product that reflects the blueprint that you created in the previous stage. Once you begin building your product, you may determine that you want to make changes to the design. This trial and error is strongly encouraged during this stage. If you do make changes, be sure to take note of this on your blueprint as well. Rapid prototyping is also strongly encouraged during this step of the process, which means that you create as much as you can as quickly as you can. Remember, from the previous video, you want to fail fast to succeed quicker. This step goes hand in hand with the next step of the design thinking process, which is where you test your product. The purpose of the test stage is to see how sustainable your product is under different types of conditions. This is where it is important to understand that we learn from failure. Relating back to the video, the company tested their shopping carts under many different conditions, such as by using a baby doll in the shopping cart and putting different products in the cart, such as groceries with different weights. Remember, this stage goes hand in hand with prototyping, so as you test your product, you might need to make physical changes to the product itself.
Finally, the next step is iterate. The purpose of this step is to understand that you are never finished creating a product and there is always room for improvement and there are many ways to make a product better. When you get to the point you think you are finished, you have two options. Option 1, you are successful, but you can make your product even better. But how? You begin to question your thinking and wonder how you can make this product better. In the video, it shows how the people in the company got to where they needed to be when they finally figured out the best design for a shopping cart. But they did not stop there. They kept questioning their theories and designs. It is so important to take a step back and look at your work from another perspective, because it will make your product become more effective. Option 2, your product failed, but don't worry, failing is going to be a part of the design thinking process. Design thinking is used to set you up to make mistakes, so you know how to go back and fix them. Design thinking is non-linear, which means you can jump around all the different stages. To recap on design thinking, the major components of it allows you to think critically, learn from your peers, take a problem and create a solution. It also allows you to think outside the box. We are now going to proceed to lunch. Following lunch, you will be engaging in activity that will allow you to apply the interdisciplinary STEAM components to the design thinking process. Enjoy your lunch and we will see you soon.